And I already mentioned the Black Keys. The reason I thought it was interesting to compare their lyrics, because I feel like the Black Keys lyrics, for a band that is so refined, similar to Spoon, the one knock I have on them is that these Black Keys lyrics on Let's Rock, their ninth album, are pretty blah. Like, there's really not much substance to them, I feel like. I don't know. Did you get that vibe listening to it?
Yeah, I think I have many holes in the Black Keys discography, the surprise of no one. But I've always kind of associated their music with just being very like to the point, very simple, in the sense that it's really just the two of them making the music and playing. There's no like background production. There's very rarely anyone else playing any other instruments with them, especially on this album. So the fact that the lyrics also are just kind of A to Z type stuff. I don't know. I feel like it fits what they go for. I mean,
Yeah.
do you feel like that's always been a problem for them, or has it just kind of been like steady for them? Like, did you hold up their past albums more lyrically in the past?
That's interesting. I do feel like they tried a little bit more things, like, I don't know, Magic Potion, Black Submarines. I don't know, just these albums, even like as recently as Brothers, which is probably the one most people know. It has Tighten Up, Howlin' for You, Next Girl, which are all probably three of their biggest top 5 hits. I feel like there was a lot more like imagery, turn of word. That this one just came across in particular as a little bit more straightforward. But I feel like you said, they're kind of a simple band in the sense that they do thrive off just drums and guitar, but they also, I mean, they had some flourishes in here, some like some little additions, which I think left people with a bit of a, I mean, I guess like real Black Keys fans with a bit of a clamoring for an older sound in a way, because when they came up back in, what was that, early 2000s with
quite early.
The Big Come Up was their first one, but like Thick Freakness and Rubber Factory were probably the first two that caught any kind of traction. They were just like a garage band. Like, they were just this group that was making pretty simple rock music that seemed kind of lo-fi and had this real bite to it. And now they're incredibly polished, like I said. And I think it leaves some of their older fans feeling a little bit like, we wish we had the old Black Keys back, as Kanye might say.
Yeah, well,
did you go ahead?
Yeah, well, as they do reference a little bit the fact that they were on hiatus the past 5 years. Just I think just taking a break basically from being rockers for 10 years, understandable. But they actually kind of reference like the apparently fake stories about the friction between the two of them that had come up in the hiatus, and telling little fake anecdotes to lampoon that, which I think is kind of cool. I'm sure like the hardcore fans really can laugh and appreciate that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, apart from those flourishes, the chords are pretty simple, right? Like I feel like this is not like this certainly isn't Black May. This is kind of just like good blues rock, good garage rock, right?
Yeah.
But because it's existing now, it's still hard as shit, because that's just the rock landscape, right? And like, as far as a comeback record, as far as a 9th album for a post-punk revival band that blew up in the early 2000s, I think it sounds pretty good. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I think the thing I would say about this album is it's very catchy. And for rock music to come across and be ear-catching, I don't want to say it's necessarily pop rock, because I think there's a lot more to it than that. It's very much like 60s, 70s classic rock in style. I saw a lot of people comparing it to ZZ Top, which I think feels correct. Sure. I really enjoyed the moments though where they like added like female backing vocals, or even a song like Breakdown that begins with like an electric sitar in the beginning. It really adds like a whole new element where it does feel like they're experimenting and trying to do more than just stick to that classic formula, which they do really well. I mean, Shine a Light and Get Yourself Together were probably two of my favorite songs, and they both are just these awesome guitar driven ballads. Like, it's a simple formula that works, but I do like when they go outside the box a little bit. Why doesn't Dan Auerbach get more love? I feel like he's a pretty established rock artist. He's had a decent solo career. Another good showing with the Arcs, and the Black Keys obviously are, they headline a lot of tours, but I feel like he's relatively unknown still.
Yeah, I mean they won a lot of Grammys. I feel like almost all their albums got Best Rock Album nominated too. He's the one who's married to Michelle Branch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
Yeah.
certainly not like held up as like a Dave Grohl type. You're right.
Yeah. It's funny, they feuded with Jack White a couple of years ago. And I think there's still a bit of like a underlying feud where Jack White feels like they've ripped off a lot of his sound, which Jack White is so pretentious. But I don't know, man. It feels like he should get more respect. He's had 3 different successful types of rock adventures so far in his career, and really, I feel like unless you're kind of tuned into the rock scene, like I think people know who Jack White is, but I don't think people know who Dan Auerbach is unless you are really tuned into one of his bands. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just was thinking about that the other day. Any songs that stood out to you other than the ones we've already mentioned from this album?
Yeah, I liked Go. That was the one where they make fun
Yeah.
of the friction stories.
Yeah, Go is a good one. I didn't really have any tracks on here I really didn't I disliked. So
Yeah.
I think if you want to give this a listen, it's a fun, like 40 minutes or so, 38 minutes.